Hello, it's T from Teresa H Creates, and I wanted to do a Christmas and July video. So in a recent haul, it was a Facebook Marketplace haul, I picked up this little collection from a lady. It's a fold along card, and here are the instructions, and I got the little owl and the little fox, and it came with some papers, and they're kind of geometric, very muted kind of colors, some black and whites. And it also came with some lovely stamps. And I wanted to go ahead and try my hand at making some. However, because it is Christmas in July, I wanted to do a Christmas theme. So I'm going to set these aside. I'm not going to use those with this project. And I'm going to go ahead and cut card bases with these dies. Now, I typically use the Nina Solar White cardstock as my card bases, which is great. I'm going to make I cut two of them down to kind of a 12 by 6 so that I could use those to run through my die cutting machine. And I'm going to use these and go ahead and cut one of each in this white. However, I wanted to do something a little bit darker as well. So I did cut down some other cardstock to see if I could make something with those, make something a little bit different. So I think I'm going to do a dark brown fox, or I'm probably going to do a light brown. I'm going to do a light brown fox and then a gray fox. And then I'm going to do a black owl and then a dark brown owl, and also use some of the Christmas decorations on those. So I'm not going to make you watch me do the die cutting. Hopefully everyone knows how to die cut. So I'm going to go ahead and die cut these out, and then I will be back for selecting the actual papers that we'll use. I'll go ahead and pull out some of my Christmas stash, and I'll select papers to really make these pop. Back in a minute. All right, I'm back. I've made several cuts, and I wanted to come back and share with you some of the tips and tricks that I have discovered so far in cutting these fold-along cards, so that maybe it would help you if you're deciding whether or not you want to get one of these, or if you have one in your stash that you just haven't used yet. So so what you have to do is you have to fold up your paper, and you're going to cut it, because if you notice that this die, this thinlet, is it goes kind of off the edge here, and you have to position it so that it cuts the entire thing at once. And so I don't need that. I was trying to use it and ended up being too complicated, so I don't need it. So I am just going to fold up my paper. So I've cut 3 of the foxes and 2 of the owls already, and this will be my my final owl. And let me share with you, I'm getting the best cuts with this current sandwich. So what I ended up doing is, and don't laugh, it has been through it. So this is my plates and everything. I've just been through it, and I just pulled this one out of my stash, my purple glittery one, so that I could use it for this, because I felt like I needed something a little bit newer. So the way you position these is that you line them up, and this is supposed to go, so this is folded over, and it's the texture side up, and you're going to let this come off just a little bit on the edge. And you'll see that it just goes off, it doesn't cut. So the cutting ends right here on the edges. And then, so you're going to position it just barely off the edge. And then I've been using some magic tape to kind of hold it in position. And then, so I've got my base, I've got my plate, and then my paper die cut, and then a clear plate on top. Let me roll it. I've got a ancient Big Kick. It has been with me for forever, though. It is still going strong. This thing is a workhorse. I always like to run my dies, especially the thinlets, through and then back through, just to make sure that I get a good cut. Let me take my sandwich and see what we've got. All right, and put this aside. And then it all starts to come apart beautifully. Remove my magic tape here. And then there we go. And then when I first pulled this out, I was a little bit confused as far as kind of how to do this. Let me set that aside. And so you'll see now it folds out because that stayed together. That's where it was kind of going off the edge there and didn't make those cuts. So it stayed together. So this is going to be your, this back part of the base here. And then you're going to fold this over. And there are score lines there. But I do it so that I can make sure that I match everything up. But the score line is there. And then I'm going to take my bone folder and kind of reinforce that. And then you can see there, the score lines are there. I'm going to match that up. Okay. And then we're going to fold out. And you can see it doesn't go all the way down, but you can see it's got tiny score lines here and then one here at the bottom. And so the way it goes is it's going to fold in. So I need to fold these back on themselves. And they do have those score lines, but I have just been matching them up and then taking my bone folder and lightly pressing those. And then it's just going to go back. And I've been lining it up. And I found in the end that it does go along those score lines. It just, it does line up with the score lines there and there. And then that's how it sits. And that's all we'll be worried about or concerned with for now. But I did want to show you, so I got a nice clean cut with that. But what I did discover is what I have been using, my sandwich plate that I had been using was my base. And this is just what I use with all my die cutting. And I've been using the Magic Mat and then just the clear top plate and then putting the dies and paper in here. You can tell my Magic Mat, it not only is a little warped, but I mean, it has been through it. So when I use that Nina Solar White for the first cut, you can take a look here. It didn't really care for it. You see how the edges here are not real sharp. Let me see if I can pull, there we go. They're kind of blurred. So I did have to go in and kind of cut and trim and pull to get some of that off, you see? And it still needs a little bit of, trying to get it in focus so you can see. It still needs a bit of touch-ups here and there. So I did have to kind of force things through. And I didn't particularly care for that. So what I ended up doing was getting a new Magic Mat for the next cut. So I got out a fresh Magic Mat. So then I was using a fresh Magic Mat, my clear plate, and then I cut, is it the gray one I cut? I believe so. And so that was much better. That was easier to do with this little Foxy. But I did have to run it through several times, and then it didn't cut all the way through, so I still had to make a few cuts here and there. So then I decided that I would go ahead and just get rid of the Magic Mat because maybe it was just too soft for these thinlets. And that's when I went to use my purple base on the bottom instead of Magic Mat because it's harder. And I ran through it was the Black Owl. And that was perfect. Like, it came out perfect. I was once, twice. I didn't have to go multiple times rolling it through the die cut machine. And then that was it. Now, this cardstock is also, these bases are also, the paper's a lot thinner. Is a lot thinner than the Nina Solar White. So I used the same setup and did this. And you saw how easily it did when it ran through the machine. It just went right through, zip, zip, and it cut beautifully. What I decided to do was try this new sandwich setup with the Nina Solar White. Now, it cut beautifully. It cut right through. I didn't have any problems, but I had decided to try something a little bit different with this one. So instead of doing it on the side, I did it this way. And so I'm going to just kind of cut this right here so that it is rounded. And I'm going to use this as a top folding card and do that one a little bit differently. So anyhow, just wanted to kind of share that with you, that it could also be changed up a little bit if you just wanted a shaped card. So it's a top folding card on that one. So now I have my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 card bases, and I need to choose my papers. So I'm going back to my Echo Park stash, and I've already used the Story of Christmas, so I think that I'm going to go ahead and take that out. And I had 2 of them. All the scraps over here. All right. And then kind of look through and see. I'm looking for something that has maybe some black in it. That does. I think these are a little bit lighter. I'm going to pull that out. So the next one is I Love Christmas. I Love Christmas. It's 2 I Love Christmases. See, that's why I had to finally start making a list because it was a mess. I was just ordering everything in duplicates, apparently. Okay, so this one looks like it might be a good one for what I want. I like that. So I think I might use that to decorate this owl. Kind of like this as well. So I'm going to pull both of those out. I use those to decorate the owl. And still got the little fox. I've got the fox in gray. So I'm just going to have to find something that's going to go with more of that kind of grayish color. Still in a perfect Christmas. I must have had a couple of those as well. Okay, the next set was the night before Christmas, and it has some gray tones in there, so maybe I'll find something in there. And it's upside down. I guess I need to organize these a little bit better. Goodness, it's a bit of a mess. Sorry, guys. Thanks for hanging in there. I thought I saw some gray tones in that. Now, that's pretty. I think I might do that with this little fox. Use the snowflakes. That's pretty. And then I have the fox and the owl. Still. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Celebrate Christmas. I'm just going to keep turning these. Some pretty whites in it. I think that I may use this or this for that white base, for either of the white bases on the fox and the owl. So I'm going to set those aside. And then I'm looking for, I think, brown fox and brown owl. I like that as well. I'm going to set that aside as well. That red really pops though. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. I mean, it really has narrowed down. I mean, look at everything I've got to choose from, and I've still narrowed it down a little bit. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, that's the last one for the white bases. So I really need to focus on the brown. I've got a dark brown out. Well, okay. So I'm going to put this one back in, and I'm going to pull this one out. And Celebrate Christmas. That one is another duplicate. My favorite Christmas. Let's see what else I've got in here. I think that one's the Salutations. These look pretty. I'm going to pick this one up. This looks like it might be pretty with some of the browns. Let me pull this one out. Which one is this? The First Noel. That's pretty. kind of a reddish brown. That's a maybe. I'm gonna go ahead and set that aside. That is a maybe. That's really pretty as well and will look good with the brown. So I'm gonna set that aside. That's a maybe. I really like this green too. I think that those are good options for those browns. So I think I've got what I need. All right, I've chosen my papers and I'm going to go ahead and do my cuts. I'll do those off camera. And now that I have my, my sandwich set up the way I want it, the way that's working now, it should be fairly easy to go in and make those cuts without any issue. And then I'll be back to start assembling. All right, I've made all my cuts and wanted to show you the cards. So I picked the papers and went ahead and used the die cuts. So these die cut the shapes that go in the center of the card. So you can write your sentiment, and I'll show you that in just a moment. So there's one for the owl as well. And then here are all the little bits and pieces that you would die cut the extras with. And I will start with, I guess, the little foxes. They're super cute. So here he is. First little fox I did. I decided to do everything in blue and then did a, in black, and then did the little gray behind his eyes so that would stand out, and then did the little tip of his tail. And so the nose just goes on one part. It opens up, and then here's the inside pieces. I wanted to do those panels, and then I used black soot to use in a, let me see, a snowflake stencil. I'm not sure who it's from. I don't recall. It's probably a scrapbook.com though. Snowflake stencil, and I used the black soot to create that background. And if I pull this out, so this is the part that you would put your message or your sentiment on. You would write your little note, and this part comes up, and you just slide it right in, and he sits there. Super cute. I went ahead and inked the edges of the little fox insert, and then used the stencil again on the bottom. And so it's really cute. It sits up like this. Hopefully you can see. So he can close, or he can just sit propped up so that the message is seen. And from the top, it looks like this. So everything can be seen. How cute is that? So there's the little fox. This is the one that I cut that I told you was a little rough around the edges, that I cut using the Nina Solar White and that first sandwich that I did with my magic mat. And so I didn't get as clean a cuts on that one. I love the way this one turned out. This is the little fox I did in gray, and I used a gel pen on little eyes to color in those little dots there so that they were white. And then when you open it up, there's a little snowflake on, it's dark blue on gray. I'm sorry, it's gray on dark blue background, but those little gray snowflakes. So again, I used that same stencil and put the snowflakes down, and the snowflakes around the bottom of the little fox. I think it's super cute. Turned out super cute. I don't know whether to lay them down so you can see them, or kind of want to prop them up, but there you go. And then the little brown fox turned out super cute as well. I used, what was it? I want to say that it was my walnut stain. It was walnut stain. And then this was just some holly leaves, or not holly leaves. It was just some Christmas greenery I got from one of my, it was a Pink Fresh stencil. It's a layering stencil. And I decided just to use the little leaves on it instead. And then on the inside, you can see the paper with the little hollies on it. And then I went ahead and used that same stencil. And I used Oxide inks. Rustic Wilderness is this color, and then Festive Berries for the little berries on it so that it would match. And then these inside panels here, I just brought that same decorative paper to his little mask, and then his tail, the end of his tail. Super cute. And then for the owls, I have the little black owl. Look at how cute. Okay, the eyes are a little bit wonky. I got better at doing the eyes. So fortunately, she's not looking cross-eyed, but she's definitely looking in two different directions. But I used the was it buffalo plaid here, and then used the gray for her little eyelashes to kind of highlight her eyes. And I used oxide ink here, wild honey and carved pumpkin for her little beak. And you open it up, and then there's the inside with little holly berries and flowers, and then did the same here. And it's this, they work the same as all the others, that just the sentiment, I left them blank for now and just kind of decorated them. It'll be easy to add sentiments or messages when I do get ready to send them. But it's super cute and sits up just like the other did. And then, oh, the dark brown owl. I thought she turned out super cute too. So because this is so dark and I really liked having some sort of a pattern on it, I ended up using, it was tea dye in the oxide, because the oxide creates that little, it's a different formula. So it's a lighter shade on that darker shade, and so it shows up. So it's the little Christmas trees. And then I put them down here at the bottom as well in the walnut stain. There's the snowflakes there. You close it up. I use the snowflakes here, and then the Christmas trees down here in green. Super cute. These were a lot of fun. There's a lot of die cutting involved, but it was a lot of fun. And then the owl that I did in the top folding, this is her. It's really cute little beak, and I used the red with the snowflakes, the white snowflakes for her wings and her little horns. And then on the inside, because this was the one I ended up cutting wrong, and I ended up doing the top fold on that. And so this I just glued down. So the little panel that you would write on is already attached permanently. And so I just cut out several images of the owl, or die cut several of the owl pieces, and then put those together so it's completely covered. And she does stand up because it's a nice flat bottom. So she stands up just fine as a top folding. So it was super easy to make a top folding card or to make a one of these fold outs. They were super cute. I love that I was able to make some Christmas kind of cards with these, and they look adorable. I'm very happy with it. So if you're thinking about getting some of these, just know that you have several options with the fold along cards, but there is a lot of die cutting involved. That doesn't bother me, but if you're a little bit fussy with the die cutting and it does bother you, then I wouldn't recommend that for sure. But otherwise, it was a lot of fun, and now I'm really considering getting the poinsettia and the Christmas tree fold up die sets for the fold apart cards. So anyhow, I hope that you enjoyed this video. It gave you some inspiration, some things to try that maybe are sitting in your stash, or something new that you might want to purchase. And here they all are. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time. Bye.